Hello again, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Shell Oil Company and LULAC National Education Service Center's presentation of Celebrating Science Corps. My name is Luke Elizondo. I'm a former Shell Science Corps mentor and a current undergraduate student at Yale University studying history and political science. I have the distinct pleasure of guiding you through today's program and introducing all speakers for the event. We'll be hearing from leaders from Shell, a brief presentation from the LNESC team, an update from the Shell Science Corps instructors, and of course, the students and families that are most impacted by this wonderful program. I'd like to begin by introducing our first guest, Mr. Fernando Galnades. Fernando Galnades is currently a production team support engineer working at Shell Deer Park, supporting the chemical plant. He graduated from Georgia Tech in 2015 and is a local officer for the Alumni Association. Previously, Mr. Galnades interned at NASA, Lockheed Martin, and United Airlines. At Shell, he's an active member of the New Professionals Network and the newly elected president for the Deer Park Shen chapter. The acronym SHEN, or SHEN, stands for the Shell Hispanic Employees Network Employee Resource Group. Thank you for being here, Mr. Galnades.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for that introduction, Luke. So first of all, I want to thank everyone and welcome everyone. I think this is a great program amidst an almost full challenging year, and hopefully with the vaccine out, we can soon stop saying that. I would hope, but we'll see. Which is, speaking of the topic science, a really big shout out to everyone that's been researching that vaccine, putting all those hours I can't even imagine of work. But anyways, this next hour really is all about the students. I mean, the work ethic, the celebration of STEM, all of that, I think. So a virtual round of applause to all of you and your parents, right, for supporting you. So I was asked to give a little bit of a background of how I got involved in STEM. And I guess it all starts with the roots, like many things, right? So my parents are from Tamaulipas, Mexico. I grew up in like a small little home. Yeah, it ran off of a battery, but not like a Tesla power cell. It was like legit a car battery. So I did that. Yeah, I see a couple people smiling. I lived there for pretty much 4 years, and then my family moved to Southwest Georgia, where I kind of got more of an introduction to the science and engineering aspect, I guess, of my life. But I've always been pretty much a natural curious person. So I actually asked for like a microscope when I was 7 from Santa. Like, who does that? But I was really interested in just how everything around me worked, right? So like all the 9 planets at the time, everything around me, I was always that like why kid. Why does this happen? Why does this happen? And why does that happen? And that really annoyed my parents on those 18-hour car trip rides. But anyways, yeah, so at my school, it was a really small high school in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. We didn't have like a great program like the Science Corps that could really teach me what engineering even was, right? My dad was an agriculture engineer, but really that means a professional farmer. So I don't even think it exists nowadays, but that was really his background. So he was the one that would always help me with the math classes and all of that good stuff. So I knew I liked science and I knew I liked math. But what that really meant, I didn't really have a good grasp. So first of all, that's like a really huge plus, and I can't stress enough how important it is for these opportunities. But luckily, I had some great teachers, like I mentioned, great parents that really pushed me to kind of explore that science and technology aspect that would ultimately guide me to Georgia Tech. And obviously, amongst that, like I had the people I looked up to in the media were Bill Gates and Steve Jobs at the time. I didn't know who Jeff Bezos was, and I didn't know who Elon Musk was because he was making PayPal, and I didn't really like care about PayPal at the time. But I went to Georgia Tech, and really through engineering, in my case, I've gotten so many wonderful opportunities. Like a lot of my friends, right, are just extremely diverse backgrounds. They now live like throughout the world. So it's really fun to just connect and like get to travel and visit them wherever they live now, or used to travel and visit wherever they live now. But really, like, even just in my internships and the opportunities, I've gotten to like fly a brand new Boeing plane, not myself, but like fly in a brand new Boeing plane when I interned at United. I got to work like alongside an astronaut on the NASA floor, like the International Space Station mock-up, where we were working with high school students to build a table for the actual International Space Station. So it's just like all these wonderful opportunities. And now at Shell, working through this energy transition that STEM has allowed me to accomplish. And obviously having more resources up front would have been wonderful. But really, I think at the end of the day, right, STEM is all about just solving like the world's problems and being curious and just really having that work ethic to chase those problems, find the solutions, or just find improvements to problems we've already solved. So today's not really about me, it's about all of you, the students. So I'm really excited to see what your generation accomplishes. I think there's a lot more impact on society that all of you are aware of, but like whether it's, solving our healthcare through like, if you care about pharmacy or medical issues, or, will you come work at Shell and be like the next, help us solve the next green energy, keep us moving down that line? Or do you like cryptocurrency and Bitcoin? Are you like, obsessed with all of that sort of technology thing? So anyways, I can't wait to hear what y'all accomplish. I can't wait to hear the rest of these presentations. If you have any questions, I'll be around. Feel free to reach out to me through the chat or at the end during the Q&A. But welcome everyone again, and I'll pass it back to you, Luke.
Thank you for that, Mr. Galnades. I think everybody can give him a virtual round of applause for that introduction. Definitely very important to show us the perspective of the STEM education. And now I'd like to introduce Mrs. Roseanne Blanco. Roseanne Blanco is the Field Center Director of LNESC Houston. Before joining LNESC, she worked for General Telephone and Electronics, now known as Verizon, as a telephone operator while going to college at Texas A&M University. She was promoted into management as a customer service auditor, and Roseanne received a LULAC scholarship, believes in always giving back to the community because it takes a village to raise a child. She volunteers with LULAC. She's on the scholarship committee for the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and is a member of the Houston Hispanic Forum. She is consistently looking for opportunities for student success. Please take it away, Ms. Blanco.
Thank you. Thank you, Luke. And thank you to all the students and teachers that are with us today. And of course, Shell. Where would we be without Shell? So usually when I speak to students, I always encourage the LNESC students with example of a former alumni that have been successful. And I know in the past we were speaking with Shell planning this, and Rosario Diaz came up. Well, not only is Rosario Diaz a student, but all of these bright, shiny faces that we have here today are also LNESC Shell students. But today I want to thank Shell for almost 30 years of successful partnerships, and by sharing an LNESC Shell example. As I'm working this month trying to secure funding for one of our LNESC talent search programs, I spoke to a principal at Chavez High School, and his name is Dr. Luis Landa. Well, the name sounded familiar. It's an unusual last name. So I checked my personal files, and behold, I found him because in 2011, I hired Dr. Landa, who wasn't a PhD at the time, but today he is. I hired Dr. Landa as a Shell Science Corps teacher. And so when I connected with him this week, he remembered the Shell Science Corps. So not only was he a teacher at McReynolds Middle School back in 2011, but today he is Dr. Landa, and he is the principal at Chavez High School. So you're not only helping students, but now we're creating leadership within HISD. So I spoke to him, and he was very thankful and having had that experience with students at LNESC and Shell. So needless to say, I secured a letter of support from Dr. Landa, and so we'll create more positive partnerships in our community. Thank you to Shell for having given me this opportunity and having given a teacher the opportunity to become a principal. So words sometimes aren't enough, but when you see examples in our community of the partnerships and what they create, there's just nothing like changing a life and changing a student. So thank you, Shell, and we'll continue now.
Thank you, Roseanne, for that, for those remarks. We are going to begin the PowerPoint section of our program today. My name is Raul Sanchez. I'm with the development department as part of the LNESC team, and I wanted to make sure that everyone knows exactly what the LNESC is about. And that starts with a pillar of our organization, which is our mission statement. And as you can see here, our mission statement is to provide educational leadership development opportunities to create lifelong learners and leaders within the Hispanic community. We seek to develop America's future workforce by effectively preparing young people for the jobs of the new economy. And that involves programs around leadership and education, as well as scholarship awards and programs that help students facilitate their way through higher education, but not only to complete their degree, but also to become contributors to the great American society, so that they may be successful in life. So LNEC has served over 579,000 students, more so by now, as that numbers are growing every day, every year, and every semester. We have sent over 157,000 students on to college, and up to now, over $28 million in scholarships. And we do that with the help and support of our 16 centers throughout the country, of which the next slide will represent.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mariana Moron, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for LNESC. And I'll be talking about LNESC's reach. As Raul was talking about, we deliver program services through our 16 education centers and affiliate program sites, which covers more than 25 states and Puerto Rico. Through these sites, we offer a wide array of educational programs ranging from literacy at the elementary school level to STEM at the middle school level, leading up to high school through our academic counseling, leadership development, and college preparation programs. And to help students pursue a college education, we provide scholarship opportunities to help alleviate cost and financial burden. The majority of our centers are funded by the federal TRIO programs through the Department of Education. These programs include Talent Search, Upward Bound, and Upward Bound Math and Science. LNESC prides itself as one of the largest TRIO grantees, serving more than 3,500 first-generation college-bound students annually, and over 420,000 students since receiving our first TRIO grant. Now, to help you learn a little bit more about LNESC STEM programs, I will turn it over to Raul to play a short video.
Roseanne, would you mind with the slide, please?
All right, presently, Shell Science is at 4 of the schools here in Houston. We're at Dede, Navarro, Ortiz, and Stevenson Middle Schools. Each school approximately has 45 students, more or less. Presently, we're online with virtual viernes, and we're also tutoring math and science. So both programs continue under the Shell program. Next. As you can see, we looked at STAR scores. Of course, this past year, due to the COVID, we didn't have STAR scores, but we still looked at report cards and the impact that STEM and the Shell program, Shell Science Corps, has had. It continues to be amazing. Through our teachers, we've built robots and we've done coding. And so it's always interesting. I, as a baby boomer, continue to learn and see the amazing work that our Shell Science students create. Okay, most of our programming through the 3 teachers we have Ernesto Salas, Angela Hernandez, and Bianca that are conducting the virtual viernes and lots of neat projects that they've done. So everything is on the virtual viernes for Shell Science. We also had this summer, for the first time ever, approximately 30 to 35 students participate in the virtual Shell Summer Science Corps. First time ever. It was right in the crisis of COVID, but students would come by, pick up their projects, what we were going to do for that week on a Friday, and then they would work throughout the week. The teachers would meet with them, and then by the next Friday, we would present, each student would present the packages. Because of the Shell funding, we were able to also provide gift cards for snacks and lunches for the students. The programs consisted of math and science. We had virtual field trips to colleges and universities, and even some of the museums, not just here in Houston, but throughout the United States. We also provided college preparation for those students that have been in the program and are now juniors, because hopefully, although right now they're not taking SAT or ACT tests, but they will probably require it in the future. So we did provide, through Shell funding, the college prep for test taking. Thank you. Shell.
I'd like to say thank you again for that presentation. I'm sure we all found it very intriguing. And thank you to the team LNESC for that, for their participation. Great to hear about the success of the program, even with the challenges that we faced during the pandemic. Next, I'd like to ask Mr. Brian Hall to share a few words with us. Brian Hall is a manager with supplier diversity and diversity advocacy at Shell Oil Company. Mr. Hall received his BA in Marketing and Computer Science at Sam Houston State University, as well as postgraduate work at Texas A&M and Rice University. He started his career in energy with Diamond, Shamrock, now Valero, in 1989, and has recently completed his 29th year with Shell Oil Company in Houston. Throughout his career, he has delivered commercial impact across many of Shell's businesses, including retail marketing, manufacturing, Shell Chemicals, and Shell Pipeline. However, Mr. Hall describes his current diversity, equity, and inclusion work as the role of a lifetime, as he helps to impact Shell's energy transition journey by focusing on strengthening the pipeline of people and diverse-owned business enterprises. His personal passions include cycling, guitar, and baseball, in addition to serving as president and founder of the Houston nonprofit Friday Harbor, which provides free temporary housing for thousands of patients and families on their cancer journey in the Texas Medical Center, healing cancer one night at a time. Let us welcome Mr. Brian Hall.
Luke, thank you. Can you hear me okay? Okay, good. Thank you. Technology today has not been my friend, but welcome everyone. This is fun. I mean, I don't know if we got a chance to tell you why this all came about, and I'll try and stick within my 3 to 5 minutes, but I get so excited and nervous because I see folks younger than me on here, and I go, oh, I got to be really, really, really good. So forgive me if I mess up a little bit here, but it really is about you. It's about the fact that we must every day wake up figuring out how do we help those who are coming behind us, and in some cases have a chance to actually outpace us. And when you think about the stats and the programs that Roseanne and the team described, I mean, this is real impact, real time with our future, if you will, at stake. So Roseanne, thank you very much for sharing this. Typically we'd be in a big city, in a big ballroom for breakfast, talking about not only the programs that Shell sponsors and supports, but about some of the programs that many of our peers in the energy industry, automobile and mobility industry, and others. So this convening is intimate, but it represents a bigger population that is truly helping build tomorrow's talent. And those 16 centers probably don't get the credit that they deserve for all the impact they have across the United States. But with that, I do have a few remarks I wanted to make sure I shared with you. This is really to help celebrate not only the partnership between Shell and the LNESC program, but it's really to help make sure that we stay inspired as individuals, whether we're my corporate peers who are on our Shell colleagues that are on the phone, those that are organizing the programs at LNESC, and of course, the students, past, present, and our future. But today we found ourselves midway through Black History Month. And this is when we honor many Black Americans for their impact on this country. This week, I actually came across an article that actually highlighted some of the few young inventors from around the world, because I love people that invent things, a few young inventors from around the world who have made history. And I brought this in because it's an example of what I believe is inside the LNESC family. You all, if you're a student, you're potential inventors. You can create what happens in the future. And so a couple I'll just draw out as a couple highlights. Evans is his name, and he grew up walking a long distance to buy kerosene using a common kerosene lamp. Turns out that this lamp actually caused eye problems due to the frequent exposure to smoke. Well, at age 19, he helped actually design a solar lantern, which he nicknamed Good Light, which is made of a 50% recycled material and is now widely distributed in his country. William is another one. He's 14 years old, and he built an electricity producing windmill from spare parts and scrap parts after he dropped out of school due to poverty. But since then, he's built a solar powered water pump that supplies the first drinking water to his community. He also released an autobiography, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind, which was selected as a required book for all incoming students at Auburn University. Kelvin, at 16, was able to build a battery that will provide electricity to homes within his community where there's no constant power supply. He is now known as today as the youngest person to participate in a visiting practitioners program at MIT. He's also signed a $100,000 solar project pact with a Canadian high-speed service provider called Sierra Wi-Fi. Now, these are kids, youngsters from around the world that are dealing with and using their own circumstances and education and learning to do something that changes the world. And I believe LNESC produces the similar students. So at Shell today, we're on a journey. You heard our colleague Fernando say, we're on a journey that I will call reinvention of sorts, powering progress together as we focus on accelerating an energy transition. This is directly impacting our commitment to achieving a net zero emissions plan by 2050 or sooner. Reshaping our global business portfolio is part of that, and our teams. So we're leaning on the diversity of teams, the efficiencies of delivering results, and leveraging shared value propositions with and for our customers. And finally, we're embarking on a diversity, equity, inclusion journey focused on removing racism and racial inequities at all levels, building people of color representation inside and outside of our company, and strengthening our investments and outreach. For example, LNESC. And with today's event, we are creating advocates and ambassadors of our colleagues, the colleagues that were invited on here. You were invited for a reason. The more we can share with you of the great programs that are happening through the diversity advocacy and diversity outreach work, we can create advocates of you and ambassadors that will be joining forces with us in the future. And so I would say this is a wonderful partnership between LULAC, LNESC, and Shell to help provide and build the capacity of students, teachers, and parents with a STEM education and program experience that will take center stage in the future. So let me finish by saying, as we slowly recover from the pandemic that many think happened to us, I ask that we consider the many ways that the 2020 happened for us. With programs like LNESC, Science Corps, we have the chance to sharpen our investments, sharpen our minds, sharpen our programs, and step into the future of solving problems together. So let's continue today's Science Corps program celebration, empowering progress together. And I think, Luke, we have a few students to hear from, and we'll continue on with the program. But thanks for everyone for taking a moment out of their afternoon to join in this celebration. And congratulations to everyone impacted today and in tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hall. We appreciate your message and enthusiasm for this great program, as well as your years-long commitment to it. So again, thanks to you. I'd like to have our two program instructors provide an update on the current state of the program. Please let me introduce Ernesto Salas and Angela Hernandez.
Okay, I'm not sure if Angela is here with us right now. Okay, well, my name is Ernesto Salas. I'm one of the instructors for the LNESC program. So this past summer, we had a virtual program where it was basically what we did in person, but we were doing it all virtually. And at first, it was a little bit hard, to try to come up with lectures and try to get the kids involved, as well as, all the teachers were going through the same thing. Well, the ones who started teaching, back in March and when everything happened. But yeah, the current state of the program, we did the summer program, and right now we're doing a thing called Virtual Viernes, which is where every 2 Fridays, every other Friday, we have a little program, a little activity for the kids to do. It revolves around math or science, art, even. And I'm sure y'all saw some of the pictures in the PowerPoint that Ms. Blanco had earlier. We just try to incorporate as much science and as much math as we can. And right now we are actually moving forward with a new program that basically revolves more on one-on-one with the students. We're doing a middle school virtual math tutoring. So we have a few kids from the middle schools that we have that Ms. Blanco talked about earlier. And we reached out to the teachers so that they can recruit some students who are having trouble with math and who need a little bit of help. And so we just started that in February the 3rd. And right now we have about half a dozen kids, but we hope to have that program expand a little bit. But looks like Angela's back. Angela?
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Angela Hernandez. I am a current student, a junior at the University of Houston. I started off with Shell as a student in 6th grade, and I've just been in the program ever since. Once I reached the age limit for the program, I came back in high school as a student mentor. And now I'm in the university, and I wanted to continue giving back and giving like the experience that I got to younger generations or younger students. And over Virtual Viernes, we have given the students the opportunity to uh, kind of showcase their creativity skills while learning about STEM components. We we teach them about, or we've taught them about biology and coding and the climate change, how the climate's changing, and many different things. Give me 1 second. Well, we started off during the summer. We couldn't really have the face-to-face program just like we do every year. So we decided to transition to virtual classes. And we got a lot of really good feedback from parents, and we decided to continue it over the semester. So we came up with the after-school program that we called Virtual Viernes, where we continue teaching them these things and just kind of help them unwind after a long week of classes and homework. So just a little hour where they can just be creative and do whatever like they want, but while learning at the same time. Currently we have more than 25 participating students, and we look forward to continue growing and continue getting more students in. I also look forward to continue being a part of this program and helping like the multiple students or younger students get involved in the program. And yes, thank you, Shell, for being our sponsor, and thank you, LNESC, for everything. I can look forward to continue working with y'all. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to step in here and thank my teachers. Bianca couldn't be with us. She's in class right now, but both Ernesto was able to get him. He just graduated from Texas A&M, and because of the pandemic, couldn't take his MCAT to get into medical school. And Angela has been with the program for so long that we just kind of hired her as a shell intern, mentor, you name it. And she's not only pretty, but she is very bright. So she's been on the dean's list, and I just want to thank her. She's kind of shy sometimes, and I know right now we're experiencing a bad storm coming over Houston. So she lost her Wi-Fi there for a while, but we got her back. So just want to say thank you to my teachers right now. So continue, Luke.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Salas and Ms. Hernandez, for that briefing on the current state of the program. I know we're all very appreciative of the important work you do, helping inspire the next generation of America's leaders. And now that we heard some information from them, we get to hear some great information about the Shell Science Corps program directly from the participants of the program and how it impacts them from the students and their families. I'd like to present the testimonial segment of today's program, where we will hear firsthand experiences from the following: Hazan del Sordo, Fernando Martinez, Cristobal Martinez, Leila Gonzalez, Mateo Gonzalez, and their mom, Miranda Gonzalez. Hazan, whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon. My name is Hassan Sordo, as Luke said. I was involved with the Shell Science program for about 6 to 7 years, both as a student and a mentor once I got to high school. And I currently attend the Texas A&M University as a freshman. I am in the business school. So my journey to where I am today starts way before Texas A&M, before high school and even before middle school. When I first immigrated here from Mexico, back in 2011, I was introduced into the Shell's LNESC science program soon, like about a year after I got here. And at the time, I was not very fluent in English. I just started learning. I was kind of behind my classmates in school. I was still in going into middle school at that point in time. But the more time that I spent inside the LNESC Shell Science program, and more time I spent inside that community and around the friends I made there, my English started getting better, my math started getting better. I learned more and I communicated more efficiently. And I was just overall doing better in life thanks to the connections I made in LNESC Shell Science program. I stayed in the science program from the time I joined in 5th grade up until the end of high school as a mentor. I came back to give back to the students that were there as middle school students. And as I look back, I realized how much the program really affected me in my life. I mean, there was a purpose behind every single day, every single field trip, and there is definitely a greater purpose behind this program. So thank you, Shell, and thank you, LNSC, for this opportunity.
Thank you for that, Hassan. Now, Fernando.
Hello, everyone. My name is Fernando. I'm a freshman currently at Yes Prep Southeast and have been in LULAC since 6th grade. My experience in LULAC have been extremely fun, to say the least. The community is really nice and welcoming. You make friends pretty easily the first few days, either if it's a student, mentor, or a teacher. The projects are really engaging. You basically learn something new every day, even if it's a simple fun fact or a tip for college. They really open up your mindset for learning, even if it is the summer. The field trips are also something never to forget, dipping into different themes and cultures. They are always something to look forward to and ends the weekdays on a high. Personally, my first two favorite trips last year were NASA and the theater performance of Aladdin. This program provides so many tips for success while also having the balance of having simple fun. I really recommend this program because of that. You're really missing out on some big experiences if you don't enter. Thanks.
Thank you for that, Fernando. And now, Cristobal.
Hello, my name is Cristobal Martinez. I am an 8th grade student at Harmony Public Schools as well as a student at LULAC. I have enjoyed my time at LULAC as the activities we do there are engaging and entertaining. One memorable project I enjoyed was the LEGO Mindstorms EV1 robotics kit. We got to collaborate with other students in building a robot that would carry specific items, and we would hold a competition against other rival groups. Another reason why I enjoy LULAC is that the teachers are friendly, passionate, and good at what they do. One example of this is the transition from in-person to distance learning. The transition was well organized on when we would pick up the supplies for each week's Zoom session. Every other Friday was surprisingly interesting, and even though it was different, we still had a lot of fun doing the projects. Last session, we created bouncy balls using essential oils, powders, and other ingredients. Overall, LULAC is a very organized and engaging program that I look forward to every week we have it. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you for that, Cristobal. Layla, you ready?
Hi, my name is Layla Gonzalez. I am a student at Project Chrysalis Middle School, and I also attend LULAC. In 3rd and 4th grade, I remember we used to take my brother over to the place, and I was always so excited for when I would finally be able to do it. And in 2019 was the first year I actually got to go, and it was so fun with the different learning opportunities and all the different trips we would make. And even now, though it's virtual, I still think it's really fun. Thank you for listening.
And now, Mateo.
Hello, my name is Mateo Gonzalez, and I would just like to speak for a second about what this program has done for me and how it's helped. I've been attending the program since I was only 10 years old, which means I've been involved for close to half of my life, which is like weird to think about, both as a student and as a mentor who would help other students. And I genuinely believe that being involved has given me some of the necessary tools that I need to thrive, not only in college, but in life, in my day-to-day life, such as learning how to work as a team and how to educate others in a fun and a memorable way. And I'm very thankful for this opportunity to grow and learn alongside other like-minded individuals. My goal has and always will be to help do for others what this program has done for me growing up, especially when it comes to my younger siblings who I hope to get involved. so they can be better equipped to be the leaders and innovators of the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mateo. And now Ms. Miranda Gonzalez, their mother.
I am very proud of my children right now, I just have to say. I think, as you heard just from everyone talking, the biggest takeaway from this is that it is an educational program that is kind of delivered under the guise of fun, basically. So, you know, the kids are doing all of these things, and they are building rockets and bridges with toothpicks and marshmallow activities, but the whole time there is a theme, there's something that they are learning, some type of science or math aspect to it. And even now, we still have moments here at home where, I think it was actually last week, where Layla was talking about the Pythagorean theorem that you guys had covered at some point. And so she takes that knowledge and she's actually using it here at home every day, which is a testament to the teachers, I have to say, to actually get that across, right? Being in the summer was really awesome. The fact that we were able to do the summer program, as my daughter said, she looked forward to her time being able to go when she saw her older brother. And even everything that they've done has carried over into the virtual Viernes. The kids love it. It's a nice way to, as Ms. Angela said, have a nice little break from the week. But also with the pandemic, my kids are still home. And so having that bi-weekly check-in is really helping them to kind of keep the connections with their peers. So they're having fun, they're being engaged, they're hanging out, they're learning. It's a wonderful, wonderful program. And I'm very grateful to have all my children involved. I actually have 2 more children. So in 2 years, I'm going to be sending 1 more, and in 5 years, I'll have another one to send. So I'm just very appreciative. And I hope that we can stay involved. And I know a lot of us have Zoom fatigue right now, so I just want to thank everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. I'm sure I can speak on behalf of all the other parents. We appreciate you being here and just taking the time to listen to us and letting us share our stories. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for everybody that was able to talk today. Definitely, these are the people that really make the program what it is. You know, what an awesome group of stories and testimonials that we just heard. Thank you again to the students and family for sharing those stories and those experiences with the Shell Science Corps program. And now we're going to move to the next segment of our program before we open it up for a Q&A session. Let me please introduce Mrs. Ruth Martinez as our final presenter this afternoon. Ruth Martinez is currently appointed National President of the Shell Hispanic Employees Network Employee Resource Group. Mrs. Martinez attended the University of Houston Law School part-time program in the evenings while working full-time for Shell Oil Company. After completing law school, she started a role in the Shell Commercial Land Group. And during her time in that group, she became the team lead for the U.S. onshore title team and became a certified professional landman. She transitioned to the Shell legal team in 2013 and has provided legal support for Shell upstream, downstream, and IT businesses. She currently supports the Shell Upstream Onshore Shales program, and she's also an active member of the Houston community. She serves on the executive board of the Power on Heels Fund, is a HISBA board member, and is a co-chair of the HISBA Mentor Program. Mrs. Martinez and her husband of 17 years have 2 wonderful children, ages 13 and 11, and she's an active board member for each of their schools' parent-teacher organizations. Let us please welcome Mrs. Ruth Mendez.
Thank you so much, Luke. Yes, for everyone, my name is Ruth Mendez, and formerly Torres, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. Luke, awesome job as an MC. I am just so impressed with each and every one of you. And I just want you to know how important you are to each one of us. And to give you an idea, we have many of our leaders on this call today. And so I'm the national president of the Shell Hispanic Employees Network, and we have over 1,000 members. This is an employee resource group, and we have many leaders. And so Raquel Alvarado is one of our leaders. And if I say your name, please wave. Linda Laura is our national VP. Carolina, She is our president of our SHIN chapter. Fernando, you heard from. He's our new president at Deer Park. And I see Sonia Miles on the line, and we are just so thrilled because you are the future, and I just want to share that with everyone. I also want to say to Miss Miranda, you say that you're very thankful for the program, but it's parents like you who are just great supporters. And I'm sorry, I didn't mention Alicia. Alicia, there's Alicia. She is our VP for Wood Creek. So yay, Alicia. But Hassan, Fernando, Cristobal, Layla, Mateo, Miranda, I mean, your confidence, I'm so impressed. I mean, you're just, your public speaking is impeccable. So hats off to each one of you. I want you to know that I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer for Shell, and seeing you speak is so impressive because that tells me that in this program, you're not only learning the STEM skill sets, but you're also learning the presentation skill sets. And that is so important as well, because as we know, we have to present our data. So yes, I'm thrilled to be with you. I also was very impressed by several of the statistics. And so the Shell Science Core program, this was mentioned earlier, but it's served close to 200 students. I think I saw 210. I saw 120 hours of STEM focused curriculum. That is so impressive. I was also very impressed by the ability to pivot really quickly. So congrats to Mr. Salas and Ms. Hernandez and team. I mean, the fact that during this pandemic, you were able to continue to make an impact and then switch to offer this online distance learning program is so impressive. And I can hear from the students that they appreciate it because they enjoy that connection. I also see that Shell Science Corps has improved the future of student participants and their families by providing technology, software, and hardware, hands-on activities, and exciting curriculum programming. And this is the opening career pathways and careers that's going to benefit the world economy. So I hope it's coming through that I am proud to be a Shell employee and see Shell sponsor this program. I hope each of you continue on a STEM path to eventually increase the diversity of the talent pool for the entire industry. This program is helping you to become the pioneer of energy's future. And so with that, I am proud to have the honor to present this check. This is our big check. Hopefully you can see it okay. So this is our check to the LULAC National Education Service Center in the amount of $75,000. So I'm going to present this to Ms. Ruth, to Miss, trying to see.
It's Roseanne. It's Rosantina, but usually I call her Roseanne.
To Miss Blanco.
There we go. Thank you so much. On behalf of the students, parents, staff, teachers, and of course, my bosses, Mariana, Raul, and Rich Roybal, thank you so much to Shell. Brian, I know some of these students look familiar to you because they had breakfast with you. Students, thank you so much for making me look good. And this is the future of our communities. And you're right, Ms. Mendez. This is hopefully, for my when I see these students, I always look at them not as what where they're at, but what they will become. And so to me, it's always it takes all of us, and I firmly believe it takes a village. So on behalf of LNESC, thank you, Shell.
Thank you, Ms. Blanco, and thanks to everyone.
Before we go forward, folks, I'd love to take an opportunity for a photo op. We need to mark the occasion, of course. So before we go to Q&A, if we're going to go ahead and smile, big cheese. Hassan, if you could put your hand down, otherwise that will come out in the photo. There you go. So I know there's a couple of us doing screenshots, so we'll stand still for about 10 or 15 seconds. Nice big cheese starting now. Different angles. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thanks, folks. That was great. So now we're going to let Olivia take it away for the Q&A session. I know we're a little bit behind on time, or a little bit more than we expected to be, but we've heard from some great people, and we certainly didn't want to cut anyone off. So with that being said, Olivia, please.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Olivia Chavez, and I work with LNESC as a program and communication coordinator. And I have the pleasure of working with Roseanne and all the way from the national office to ensure the success of the Science Corps program. And so we've heard a lot of stories, we've heard a lot of updates through the pandemic, we've heard amazing testimonials from students. And so now we just want to open the floor to everyone and to direct your questions specifically to either Shell, LNESC, or the students, just so that we know we can guide those questions. Feel free to raise your hand or just unmute yourself and ask your question directly. Thank you.
Yes, while people are going on, I will share that I'm a native Houstonian, so it was great for me to hear the different schools that each of you are attending. I am a product of HISD.
What high school?
So I went to high school for law enforcement and criminal justice.
Great.
And I do want each of you to know that I have a 13-year-old who's going to attend DeBakey in the fall. So he's a science, he's interested in that field as well.
And I will give a quick little reflection too at the end is I really wish my city had LNESC to help us out when I was growing up. Yeah, I'm extremely impressed. And like Ruth mentioned, I think one of the things I was most impressed about was the public speaking, which is not typical STEM, seen as the strong skill, but I was very, very impressed.
I mean, most of you were each of you, not most, each of you were just great, such polished speakers. I was truly impressed. So congrats on that.
I'd like to take a moment. One of the things that we've done in the past, we've had Shell employees come and speak to the students at the different middle schools when there is no pandemic. Since we can't have that, maybe we can have Fernando and Ruth and Alicia, Sonia, you guys could come and join one of our Zoom sessions as a guest speaker. So I'm gonna ask the teachers to keep that in mind whenever we have something in particular that maybe you could join us on a Zoom call on Fridays. We do it right after school around 4:15. Tomorrow's activity, being so close to Valentine's Day, they're dissecting a calf heart. So I'm asking all parents to be sure those scalpels are handled with care. So Ms. Gonzalez, Miranda, if you can share that with all the teachers, all the parents. But that's what they're doing for Valentine's Day, dissecting a heart. So it's not just fun and games, but they've got to learn. So, but maybe in the future, we'll have one of you to come and share some comments with our students.
I would be happy to. And Ms. Blanco, I just have to know, how were you able to get each of the hearts to the students?
Amazon. It's amazing.
Wow.
And so I ordered the hearts last week. They came in, and yesterday we had the drive-in, the drive-by. We now do drive-bys. And so the students picked up all their supplies. And of course, we also added some Valentine's candy to the box, along with other snacks and fun activities to their box. But that's how we did it. Amazon is amazing. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. I see the picture.
What kind of heart did you say that was, Ms. Blanco?
A calf.
Calf.
Calf heart. Yeah. And
That's
so
a
we're
cute
always
heart.
trying to find activities. Like for October, we did November, we did El Dia de los Muertos. So since you're Mexicano, you would know that El Dia de los Muertos is to us. So they did calaveras, so the skulls. And so they did that. For Christmas, they did ornaments. But they're fun activities, but at the same time, they're learning and doing all kinds of activities that they take home, like Miranda has shared with you. They do learn and they do share with family.
Well, now I understand why everyone's so excited about these Fridays.
For sure.
I will
This
say
is
though that we did one of the Fridays there was the kids made guacamole and they had all the accompaniments to go with it. There was almost fighting in the house because all the little kids were seeing Layla, you know, do her project and everybody kind of wanted something, but it was really only one surfing. So yeah, well, we have
well, team. This was awesome. I think tomorrow's must-see TV on Zoom for some heart surgery there. You'll have to send me the details. I think I have to see this with my own eyes.
We'll take some pictures for you.
I love it. I love it. Hey, Raul, remember about 6 months ago when we just thought about this idea, and again, it was meant to make sure that we don't let 2020 happen to us, but happen for us. And it appears that we were on the back end because these students and families and teachers have already embraced this venue. And we have at Shell for the most part, but we sometimes complain about being on Zoom, but it's really what you do on Zoom that matters more than just being on it. So let me just offer this. I'm really proud, not because we did a lot, but because you, and I'm looking at you, Roseanne, you and your demeanor, your joy, your history. Um, I think it takes someone that's a nucleus for things to happen. And so I want to publicly, if we can say this is publicly say it's inspirations like you that I think if all you do is if you just carried the torch, you would have hundreds following you. So keep it up. And if you need anything from us, you let this extended network know, because if we don't have it, we can help you figure it out, okay? And so for Raul, for you and your team, thank you for helping us kind of bring this celebration. But it was also a learning because we have colleagues on the phone that are looking for how do they cause more impact and do something fun. And I think we heard the word fun about 72 times. So I think you had us at fun. To my colleagues who joined, thank you for investing time from with your career, because this is part of our journey. This isn't a diversity and inclusion work. This is Shell's work and the community's work and the students' works and the parents' works and the teachers' work. So on behalf of our D&I team, and if I can say on behalf of Raul and his team, students, keep aiming high. We will be there to lift you up. And we look forward to hearing more details about your program schedule. And I bet you have some ambassadors and advocates that will gladly join you. So I'll say that. And Raul, if you have anything else, I think we'll close out on time here at 4:30 Central. But anything else from anyone else? Let me add this. If any of my colleagues want any information or just to talk about what you've heard today, just drop me an email and then we'll set a virtual coffee talk. But Raul, you want to close us out?
Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much for those kind words, and also for keeping the dream alive in this conversation we've been having over the last few months. Certainly made it a realization, but as you've mentioned, it wouldn't be a realization without the hard work of Roseanne, of the instructors, the students' ambitions, to succeed in their own endeavors, and hopefully, we'll keep the program going and bringing more students to have more of these events and to have more success stories as part of this great Shell LNESC partnership. So we do appreciate everyone coming on and listening, everyone that came out to participate and engaging, and hopefully continue to be engaged with the future of the Shell Science Corps program. So unless there are any more other questions, I think I'll let the MC bid us good night and a farewell.
Yes, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us this afternoon. Special thanks to Shell, of course, for their continued support for this.
Go Luke, go Luke, go Luke.
And thank you to the LNESC team for their hard work, and gracias to our students and parent for sharing. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Great job, everyone.
Thank
Well
you all.
done.
Thank you.